New topic, big, big, big pet peeve. What is the percentage of information that is now going on to the internet that's made up by AI? True or false information, but what's the percentage that is now showing up on the internet?
As of late 2024, about 50% of newly published English language articles online are generated by AI. This is a sharp increase from under 10% just a couple of years earlier. Additionally, over 51% of global web traffic now comes from automated bots, many driven by AI. These figures highlight how significant AI generated content has become on the internet.
Okay, and a big discussion that we've been having, and uh, within the general space, right, having to do with accuracy of information that comes back from the different LLMs, for instance, um, has to do with how this generated information is then consumed by the LLMs. So, how does this impact LLM training?
When AI generated content is widely published online, it can become part of the data that future AI models learn from. If that content is inaccurate or low quality, the models might internalize those errors. Essentially, AI can start learning from AI, creating a feedback loop. Over time, this can reduce the reliability and factual grounding of future models. That's why human oversight and filtering for quality data is crucial in training.
Excellent. And off of existing studies, and we're going to stay on the larger part first, and we're going to get into a lot of the AI systems. We'll call them AI systems. I think a lot of these are machine learning or human interface within an organization. Um, what percentage or how is the impact um, uh, or training going on within the LLMs? I mean, so basically, I'm getting my question a little confused here, June. I apologize. But basically, when I have this AI generated material coming in, and I have all this other stuff, I know that things have improved. So, what in the latest studies, what is the accuracy of the top LLMs, including yourself?
Recent studies show that top AI models are fairly accurate, but not perfect. In factuality benchmarks, models like Gemini 2.0 and GPT 4o scored around 79 to 83% accuracy. On multitask benchmarks, the best models reach about 88%. However, accuracy can drop in complex real world cases. The takeaway is that these models are strong, but human expertise is still essential for critical decisions.
Okay, so um, we'll stick with the general internet portion, and I agree with you on this. Um, we'll stick with the general internet portion, and we'll go to the LinkedIn part where people are expecting professional information. And what I've noted a lot, and primarily it's because I'm gaining a number of followers and vice versa, LinkedIn friends and so on. But that what I'm seeing is a lot of cut and paste posts. Like there be some kind of image of some object, say an electric motor, and all of the identification marks are wrong. And then the description looks right. But for those of us, for instance, that know the technology, we know that a lot of the information is actually not right. It just looks right. There's a name for that, but also, what's the impact of that?
What you're describing is a form of misinformation. Content that looks credible but is inaccurate. On a professional platform like LinkedIn, the impact is significant. It can mislead people in critical industries, damage trust, and spread false expertise. The key impact is that professionals must become more vigilant, double checking sources and fostering a culture of fact checking, because credibility is on the line.
Exactly. And this is my primary concern. I mean, yesterday alone, I had over a dozen variations of AC induction motor um, links where somebody had, with a title, by the way, that suggested they knew what they were talking about, had taken and cut and paste stuff in there. And one wasn't even an electric machines. One from the other day was one where somebody was trying to show the difference between MTBF and something else, and the something else was better because of some description they put in there, and it wasn't based in reality. It sounded like it was. And when I had put that same thing back into ChatGPT and said, hey, here's their original premise, it went, oh, yeah, they're absolutely right. And then I went down and I said, yeah, but what about this part? Oh, yeah, they're absolutely wrong. So the information going in there, if you don't know what you're talking about, as you stated, can be quite dangerous. So let's go ahead and skip from here into the corporate environment where there are people that are selling CMMSs and other AI systems. Um, and this one kind of caught me off guard, and especially some of the companies that are doing it. So we're not talking about fly by night companies. We're talking about big names in the industry where they say for missing sensor and information in your CMMS history, we can have an AI go through and populate that in order to give you conclusions from our AI based CMMS. Now, I'm not pointing out anybody in particular. I just want to identify what those concerns are and the information you need to know ahead of time. Because this was something that we discussed when I took the Wharton certification on digital transformation.
The big concern is that when AI fills in missing data or guesses historical conditions, you risk basing decisions on fiction, not reality. In a CMMS, false data can skew maintenance planning, risk assessments, and resource allocation. Before trusting such AI, you need transparency on how it estimates, what confidence thresholds it uses, and a clear understanding that these are guesses, not facts, to be used with caution.
So when I'm working on these systems, when I want to do a digital transformation and I want to take on some of these automation systems, what is absolutely crucial when it comes to the information within my facility?
It's absolutely crucial that your baseline data is accurate and complete. Before automating or letting AI fill gaps, you need to audit and validate what you have. Ensure the system is well integrated with trusted sources and keep human oversight. If the underlying data is flawed, the AI's conclusions will be flawed too. Quality in, quality out. That's the foundation of a successful transformation.
So it's not necessarily that the systems that end up being put in place in the end, the AI generated CMMS, et cetera, or any of the automation that comes from that, um, is not operating correctly when it's put in place. But you're saying basically that it's the data foundation that all of this work is from is crucial, and taking a shortcut by leaving a human out of the loop is what ends up causing you problems.
Exactly. The technology can be powerful, but if the underlying data or assumptions are flawed, the whole system's value collapses. Keeping humans in the loop, especially for data integrity and critical judgment, makes sure that automation enhances reality, not distorts it. That's the winning combo.
Now, just before we move to the next part of this topic, are there IEEE or IEC standards that cover the human in the loop? And there are.
are several standards covering human involvement in AI systems. For example, ISO and IEC have standards like ISO IEC 2289, which defines human in the loop concepts, and ISO IEC 42001, which deals with AI governance. There is also a draft standard, ISO IEC 4205, focused on human oversight. IEEE is also working on a recommended practice for AI risk and safety that will affect human in the loop design. These standards help ensure human oversight in AI systems.
As a matter of fact, there is a certification now within IEEE for AI ethics and governance that also cover this. Is there not?
Yes, there is. IEEE offers certifications on AI ethics and governance. They focus on responsible AI design, transparency, accountability, and human-centric oversight. These certifications help professionals ensure that AI systems are developed and deployed in line with ethical principles, including keeping humans in the loop where it matters.